What's up guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg with a look at the Amazon Echo Show. So this is basically an Amazon Echo with a 7-inch touchscreen attached to it. It basically has the same functionality of the Amazon Echoes we've known for a few years, with a built-in speaker which is great for music and controlling your home automation and just asking questions, but now we get visual feedback which opens up a lot of possibilities, and we're going to demonstrate many of them. Now this is available for $229 in black or white, but if you buy two of them you get $100 off, and I'll leave that linked in the description below. And because I have two of them here, I can demonstrate the built-in camera, which allows me to place video calls to friends or family. Now the outside of these boxes actually highlight many of the features which this device supports. So you'll see things like some smart home platforms which this supports. That includes Nest, Ring, and Philips Hue, some of my favorite devices, and of course many others. So it depends on what devices you have in your home. This also has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi built in, along with Dolby audio processing. And of course, like other Alexa devices, this supports shopping on Amazon, calendars, music, weather info, and much more. So to get into this box, we have some tabs along the top so we can pull off the sleeve, and then we can go ahead and pull one more tab to lift open the black box. First thing we'll see here is the Amazon Echo, very compact. Of course, it's wrapped in tons of plastic, and we have some tabs along the back side, which allows us to pull all of this apart fairly easily. We also have one more piece of plastic that's covering the speaker grill. In the bottom of the box, underneath a flap, is some very basic info on how to use your Amazon Echo, including some of the services it supports. We also get a quick setup guide and a diagram of some of the major hardware features. And lastly, we have the 21-watt power adapter, which uses a standard power plug instead of a USB Type-C connector. Of course, that's also wrapped in plastic. Setup is really easy, but you do need a smartphone with the Amazon Alexa app installed, and you want to make sure you're logged into that account. Otherwise, all you have to do is log into your Wi-Fi network using the on-screen interface, and then you just need to confirm your Amazon account, agree to the terms and conditions, and check for the latest software updates. So the thing that makes the Amazon Echo Show a little odd to look at is the fact that it's basically a 7-inch screen with this extra large speaker built in. Doesn't look terribly slick, but to me it looks better than I expected. I especially like it in white, just because it seems to offset the black finishes on the front. Overall, I think the design looks very well made and very precisely executed. So for the most part, I really don't see it as an ugly device at all. In terms of the speaker quality, we have two front-facing speakers, and they're very loud and clear. To me, these sound better and louder than the ones that come with the Amazon Echo, but they're definitely not the best speakers in the world. The display here is 7 inches with a resolution of 1024 by 600, so not the sharpest display. It's also not the highest quality display. So for example, off-axis viewing isn't the best. There's quite a bit of light leaking. I believe it's an IPS display, but it's definitely not the best display out there. It's also very prone to glare, so you'll see a lot of glare on this. But again, this is a relatively low-cost device for everything that's built in here. Speaking of what's built in here, this is powered by an Intel Atom processor, very similar specs to what you might find on a mini PC. In terms of RAM, we only get 1 gig, but that's more than enough for a device that's not doing a lot of multitasking. At the top edge surrounding the buttons is an 8 microphone array. So this is a far field microphone array, which means you can basically command this from across the room or from across several rooms, as I've been able to do in my case. It's a very effective microphone system and seems to be able to listen to you even if the speaker is blasting fairly loudly. Now these mechanical buttons are pretty basic. We have our volume up and down in addition to a microphone mute button. So if you want to mute your Alexa voice assistant, you can do that so it stops listening. But if you tap and hold, this also allows you to power it off. Also just above the display is a very small 5 megapixel front-facing camera, a very decent camera that's able to operate in most lighting conditions. It's very crisp and clear. Along the back edge is the power port, and if you look at the bottom, you'll find a very big rubber foot that keeps this from sliding around. So the reason we have cameras here is that this allows us to place video calls between other Amazon Echo shows. So for example, I can place one at a family member's house and call them using my Amazon Echo Show and have a face-to-face communication, very similar to FaceTime on an iPhone. Speaking of iPhone, this also works with the Echo app on the smartphone, so you can have an Echo Show in one house and the other person could be using the smartphone app. But drop-in is another feature which is a bit more controversial. This is something you can opt in or opt out of, but this allows you to basically drop into an Amazon Echo Show which is authorized for this feature. So that means I can immediately connect to the other Amazon Echo Show and see what's going on in that room. So in that case, it might be good for a babysitter or as a security camera thing, but otherwise you probably don't want to use this in most scenarios. So although we have a touchscreen, the primary interface method is voice. So you're not going to find an app store, an app drawer, or anything like that. You basically use your voice, and there's a few on-screen controls we can use. Alexa, what's the weather tomorrow?
Here's the forecast for tomorrow in Rochester. Look for lots of clouds and thunderstorms, with a high of 76 and a low of 57.
Great speakers, we get good voice feedback just like we do on the standard Amazon Echo, in addition to visual feedback, which is useful in this case because it's giving me some information it did not speak. But of course, there's quite a bit more we can do with this. Alexa, show me pictures of a Ford Mustang.
Here's what I found.
Alexa, show me a video of a Ford Mustang.
Here's what I found.
So this brings up some videos on the Ford Mustang. You can see this is from Amazon. So if I click on this, this will play the video from the Amazon Prime store. Alexa, play Star Trek Beyond.
Here's Star Trek Beyond.
So here's Star Trek Beyond, and I have some on-screen controls for controlling video playback, but I can also say, Alexa, skip ahead 30 minutes. Alexa, pause. Now if you want YouTube, all you have to say is, Alexa, play the Stranger Things 2 trailer on YouTube.
Playing top result from YouTube.
We gotta do this? Let's engage.
I can also rephrase that so it shows me search results instead of playing the most popular result right away. Alexa, show me Stranger Things trailers on YouTube.
Here's what I found from YouTube.
So there we go, I can swipe across the screen and select a video I want to watch. Now if you swipe down from the top, we can press the home button to get back to the home screen. We also have our settings, our brightness controls, and do not disturb. If we jump into settings, we have some controls here for Bluetooth, so you can connect to other Bluetooth devices. You can see all of them on my network here. And we also have our Wi-Fi settings, so you can see all of your Wi-Fi networks you can select from. And then we also have our home screen settings. So the home screen settings allows us to change the background. So right now I'm going with the default configuration, so it automatically feeds new wallpapers right to my device. I don't have to manage that at all. Or you can use any one of these other services to add your own backgrounds. We also have these home card preferences, so we can rotate once or rotate continuously, which is what I have it set to, that's default. We can also turn on all of these features, which are mostly on by default, so notifications, upcoming events on your calendar, drop-in. So if somebody wants to drop in, this will actually flash the notification on the screen. So if you want to turn this off, you can. And then we also have trending topics, so that's the topic that appears on the home screen. Speaking of those trending topics, if we go back to the home screen here, so again, we're going to swipe down and jump back to the home screen, swipe to one of those cards, we can tap on that and this will bring up the story. Digging into display settings, we can change up the theme for this device. So default, we have the photo theme, which again rotates the photos on the backdrop. But we can also go with the light background and dark text, which I kind of like here. And then we also have dark background with light text. So now if I go to the home screen, you can see the images are gone. We have a much cleaner look overall. We also have our photo slideshow settings, so we can change whether we want cropping or no cropping on those photos. And we can also change the speed. We also have an ambient clock, so whenever the device is inactive, it just displays the current time. Now, if you don't want that happening, you can turn it off. Now, the thing I don't like about an ambient clock on this device is just because the entire display sort of lights up when the clock is on the screen. So in a bedroom, it actually can be kind of bright. We can also enable adaptive brightness, and this will adjust to the ambient lighting conditions. Under sounds, we can independently control the volume for media and alarm timers and notification sounds. We can also customize our sounds. So if we go to alarm, we can select from a library of interesting alarm sounds, such as the Sharknado one from Ian Ziering.
Listen up. This is Ben Shepard warning you that there's a Sharknado coming.
For Do Not Disturb, you can turn this on. This will turn off any notification sounds except for timers and alarms. You can also schedule this and select specific times of day in which Do Not Disturb is activated. Under device options, this is where you can rename the device, change the location, change the wake word. So for example, if you want to change it to computer, you can do that. Although it doesn't come with one, you can pair an Amazon Echo remote to this device.
To finish pairing, press and hold the play button on your remote for 5 seconds.
And there's also things to try. So if you need some suggestions on what you can do here, you can see quite a few commands we can use. Another sound you can turn on here, which is off by default, is some audio feedback as you're starting a question. So you'll actually get some feedback when you start the question and when it ends. So for example, computer, play Linkin Park.
Shuffling songs by Linkin Park.
So instead of having to watch the speaker's lights to see if it's listening, it just gives me an audio tone. So turning the volume all the way down, you can see it's reading me the lyrics as it's playing the song. Now if I go ahead and swipe down, you'll see the currently playing song up top as well. So if I go back to the home screen here, the music will continue playing and I can jump back to it no matter where I am. I can also scroll through the lyrics as they're playing, or I can just turn off the lyrics entirely. Again, one of my favorite aspects of this device is the home automation aspect. So this allows me to do things like control my thermostat, my lights, and much more. Computer, set the light strip to red.
Okay.
Computer, set the light strip to 50%.
Okay.
Computer, what's the temperature in the house?
71 degrees.
Computer, turn on the aurora.
Okay.
Computer, set the aurora to 50%.
Okay.
Another really compelling skill for the Echo Show is that it can show you your security cameras. Computer, show the deck camera.
Okay. Getting the deck camera.
So instead of opening up my app, I can see it right here, but of course I lose a few of the controls that are unique to the app experience. Computer, show me the front door.
Okay. Getting the front door camera.
Of course, this will also answer many questions. Computer, how many ounces in a pound?
1 pound equals 16 ounces.
Show me the nearest movie times.
Here are a few movies playing near you today.
Computer, is the Emoji Movie any good?
The Emoji Movie has a score of 1.4 out of 10 on IMDb from around 4,800 IMDb user votes.
Computer, how old is Patrick Stewart?
Patrick Stewart is 77 years old.
Computer, who directed Star Trek Beyond?
Star Trek Beyond's directors are Justin Lin and Justin Lin.
Computer, who was the 18th President of the United States?
The 18th U.S. President was Ulysses S. Grant.
Computer, who was the Prime Minister of Canada in 1979?
In 1979, Canada's prime ministers were Pierre Trudeau and Joe Clark.
Computer, when did Star Trek II come out?
The movie Star Trek II was released in 1982.
Computer, how tall is the Burj Khalifa?
Burj Khalifa's height is 2,722 feet, 829.67 meters.
We can also interact with the Amazon store. Computer, buy a MacBook Pro.
Got it.
So obviously I could hit buy this, which I don't want to do, but I can also see some results related to that one. Computer, buy paper towel.
Got it.
Same story here, comes up with a selection of items we can purchase right from this device. Computer, show me my audiobooks.
Here are your audiobooks.
Computer, show me my photographs. So these are all the photos loaded to my Amazon account. Computer, play the MacBreak Weekly podcast.
Getting the latest episode of MacBreak Weekly. Here it is from TuneIn.
Computer, set an alarm for 8 minutes.
8 minutes, starting now.
How do I boil an egg?
To boil an egg, put a pinhole in the round end to avoid cracking and cover in boiling water.
Computer, how do I make lasagna?
The skill, all recipes can help you with that. Did you want to enable it?
Yes.
Searching for lasagna. I found lasagna, world's best lasagna, Bob's awesome lasagna, and lots more. You can ask for ingredients or see cooking directions on your screen.
Cooking directions.
Here are the directions for lasagna. Step 1. Heat 1/4 cup oil in a large skip.
So there you go, you get some on-screen instructions on how to make something, and this is especially useful in the kitchen, which I imagine many people will use this for, but you can see it's a skill you have to enable, so it's not baked in by default, but it also makes it very easy to enable the skill, so I didn't have to go to the Amazon Echo app to add this feature. I can also send voice messages using Alexa. Computer, send a message to Michael Kukelka.
To Michael Kukielka, right?
Yes.
What's the message?
I'm just testing this out. How does it sound?
Sending from Michael P. Kukielka.
And there we go. Now, since I sent it to myself, I got the notification right on the screen. Computer, go home. So if I go to the home screen now, you see a little notification in the upper right corner telling me that somebody tried calling me or I received a message or whatever notifications are currently available. So if I tap on that, you'll see the message here. Computer, play my messages.
One from Michael P. Kukielka. From Michael Kukielka.
I'm just testing this out. How does it sound? Computer, reply.
What's the message?
It sounds pretty good.
Sending.
There we go. So back and forth on the same device. Now, many of these features are enabled via a skill, especially the home automation features. Now, this is where you go to the Amazon Alexa app to manage those skills. So you basically either have to sign into your account associated with those specific apps and services, such as your Nest account for controlling your cameras or your thermostat. And if you have home automation devices like light bulbs, thermostat, security cameras, you're going to have to go to devices to discover them. So this will find them on the network, and then you can enable the skills to control them. And once you enable those skills, all of them will be controllable via Alexa. So in the end, it's kind of convenient to have a display on the speaker. And of course, this really depends on how you're going to use it, whether you want to use it for video, recipes, or you just want the benefit of having an on-screen display for additional information. But for me, I really prefer a smaller form factor so I can place these in more locations. And ultimately, I really don't need another display to look at. So I wouldn't place one of these in every room of my home like I do with Google Home or maybe the Amazon Echo speaker. But it's nice to have this in certain locations like a bedroom for the alarm clock function or within a kitchen where a hands-free display might become useful. Alrighty guys, hope you enjoyed this look at Amazon's Echo Show. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like to let me know, and I'll see you again in my next video.